the baby that is in the womb. Take care of the soul well. Lead them to dedicate as giving. If something is pleased or displeased, use ahosi. Take care their souls well, so that after delivery, it will not be difficult. Their mind will just be liberated easily. Since in the womb, take care well of them, whether good or bad, pleased or displeased, use ahosi, because it affects the child. It will affect the baby in a way that is liberating easily. Regarding the souls is important. You cannot give it to someone else. You as a parent must take care of them. Lead them towards giving, sacrifice for the world and societies here and there, in the way that is liberating, so that when they are grown up, they will not become a stingy person and have no suffering inside of themselves. This is taking care of the soul. There is a lot in the samsara, whether it's pleased or displeased. To enable to not attach to anything, must use ahosi. Don't let there be any stuckness within the mind. Lead them to liberate mentally, continuously. There is something that tempting to like and hate and be angry, to like and dislike, please and displease. Use ahosi. Use ahosi occasionally. Don't let the mind to be concerned and be bound with emotional karma, like, dislike, hatred. Don't let it be bound with emotional karma. Ahosi. With everything ahosi, giving ahosi, giving forgiveness. And don't mind with anything, don't identify with anything. In this way, when they come out of your womb, they will help themselves, enable to help themselves. If you lead them to dislike or hate anything, they will be like that accordingly. You have to take care of them since they are still in the womb. It's a very important thing. Whatever that is nonsense, don't be much with it. Don't involve with it, so that when they come out, they will not become nonsense. Listen well. This is all about the soul. You have to take care like this very well. Don't give to someone else to take care of them, to help raise them. No. For the teacher or whoever, you have to be responsible to help refine their minds since they are in your womb. It will be easier. And Paul leave this for you. Because when they come out in societies, don't know who they're going to meet, who is darkened or brightening. They cannot choose. The important thing is that meeting those who are not liberating. The effect is suffering altogether. Therefore, we have to diligently giving ahosi Let everything be bygone more often, constantly helping through unwinding and releasing. When they come out, it will be easy to raise them, these babies. If you don't help them through unwinding, it will not happen since in the womb. According to following the emotions of the world and societies, when they come out, they will be spoiled. They use feelings as the main thing, and it's difficult to raise them. Ahosi must be used. Please or displease, ahosi constantly, so that there is no fixation with emotional karma. It will cut off taking things into account according to one's own way. It will cut off the mind that doesn't surrender. The more of that, karma will be more gross and more heavy. Let's decrease this kind of karmic difficulties. Therefore, constantly use the ahosi for all ages, all types of age. Ahosi is to forgive. Know how to forgive often. Then it will be liberated from the gross emotional karma. It will not add more of this emotional karma. However, you must meet. Societies have temptation. Whether please or displease is there. You will face it. Therefore, be thorough. Is there anything in your mind to ask? When using let go of the letting go itself, there will be cutting. Just back off to disengage from disengagement itself. Remind oneself like this more often. With this, it will be habitual. The cutting will happen before anything. This is not using it when already there is emotions. Remind oneself more often. Back off. With everything, disengage from disengagement itself, and involve within the involvement itself more often. Don't let there be anything that is critical and then use it. Even ordinariness, no exception. Use the reminders often, then you'll be familiar with cutting within itself more often. Whether there are emotions or not, the cutting is there already. There is not going to have any problems. Even good emotions, cut through it right away. No exception. Just remind oneself more often, because it's the essential code of the essence of cutting within the cutting itself, the essence of the enlightenment. There will not be any difficulty. If you think of cutting this and that, it's difficult. Cutting husband and wife is difficult because it's wrong place to cut. To cut the societies, the world, and samsara is not the place to cut. It will be difficult immediately. Step back, from mind itself. That is cutting within itself. There will be no problem to have quarrels with samsara at all. Just remind yourself more often. If you step back, mind from mind itself, who are you going to have conflict with and quarrel with? Husbands, wife, samsara, friends, children. Mind will happen on its own. You will live in the way of helping each other in the way of the bygone, be bygone. If you cut in the wrong place, there will be quarrels. It will be complicated. Cutting children, wife, husband, parents, that is complication. They will quarrel with you. Something is still related through karmic payback. You cannot cut. You have to back off. From mind itself. Cutting is within itself only. Let go of the letting go itself. It will not have conflict with samsara or anyone. And you won't feel that it's suffering with anything at all. This has nothing to do with mindfulness concentration at all. It is the essential code of cutting. It has nothing to do with closing eyes, open eyes, or any positions. Just remind yourself with this code. Everything is uninvolved within the involvement itself. Recall it. With everything, mind from mind itself. With everything not attached to the non-attachment itself. Use any sentence here. With everything, no is not no itself. Recall these sentences. Don't be deluded to reject anything. With everything, no is not no itself. Listen to your leader. She can help you at one level. Help to liberation of suffering. Not to add more of suffering. Before she look after your fortune, but now it's not the same anymore. Later on, she addressed you with your fortune, this and that, like gecko. Now she's changed already, she's shifted. She will give you the essence of the enlightenment because she has used her insights purely. People will look for her to look for the fortune. That is not cutting deluded knowing. Now she's changed. It will be beyond the essence. That is beyond anything, beyond fortune. Has nothing to do with good or bad. Later on, you enable to help end for samsara, for all beings. To be deluded with the fortune, good fortune, bad fortune, cannot help anyone. You have to go beyond fortune, beyond predestination, beyond the beyond itself. Not attached to the non-attachment itself. Mind, even from mind itself. Let's not be stuck with just this fortune or that fortune. Use the essence of the enlightenment that is given. So use it. The cutting will be there on its own. You still have to face the impermanence of samsara for a long time. All the disappointments you will face or pleased also you will face. So don't take anything into account. Cut through the cutting itself. You will not be exhausted. What about ailment? Share the perfection or the barami to your karmic debtors. Ailment or sickness is from hurting and harming all beings for many lifetimes. Hurting and harming, killing animals. When it's accumulated, it turns into sickness, physical sickness, for lifetimes after lifetimes. That's a payback. Just when you see the beings, you use water over them, they drown and died. This karma will make you cough, have sickness of flu in the breathing system because it's a bounce back. Even using chemical spray to kill animals, mosquitoes, ants, you will be coughing as a bounce back, having problem with your breathing system. That is the payback of your karmic difficulties. Therefore, physical ailments or sickness is from hurting and harming all the beings, societies. For too many times, it will turn into physical ailments, physical vedana. For example, cancer is from the usage of poisons, giving to someone to take the poisons from you. Therefore, it's bounced back as cancer. And the payback must be there because of what you have done. To alleviate these kind of ailments, you must share your perfection to all your karmic debtors. If your parents are sick, there is no need to pour the water as a sharing the perfection to your parents. No, share it to their karmic debtors. This will decrease the intensity from the origin. We have helped so much like this before. Don't share it to the sick person. Share it to the origin. They are bound by their karma. Ask for ahosi from the karmic debtors. Correct like this, okay? Whether it's gonna be cured or not, it doesn't matter. Just continue to share the perfection ahosi for the debtors, karmic debtors, constantly. Karma will end all by itself, more or less. Just like we have debts towards one another. If you pay back the debts, they will surrender to you. They will yield to you. They will stop bullying you. If you don't pay back the debt, they will bully you more and more. How to pay back? There are many ways. Whatever that is good, they will take it if you pay back in that way. Therefore, the consequences of perfection and merit is beyond treasures. Because you can pay back for all realms of existence, unlike the physical treasures. It's not the same worth. If you share it in this way, it can pay back. Karma will be decreased automatically. Nothing that is not able to be solved and corrected. Don't just do it for yourself only. Share it to your debtors as well. All the merits from temples and religions, share it to your karmic debtors, not to take into yourself only. All of these exist, huh? Really. Even you can't imagine, but it's there. You ask those who know, they will tell you. Ask your leader, she knows. She will tell you. There are the spirits who circling on the ground. They are consuming your food that you offer. When you offer to the ghost, they are there, the spirits are there. The important point is that do merits to temples, to societies, and share your merits and perfection for all these spirits is much better. Give the intangible for the intangible beings. There's a lot of mighty force for them, a lot more. Just like when you offer food on the table, after consuming, after eating, you are full, but that's it. Just like the spirit consuming the smell from the food, they will be hungry again. But if you meet the hungry goats, they can consume, but they don't get full. Just transfer merits and perfections. Whatever that is suffering in societies, you can help and support them. It turns into merit, and share this merit to all beings. It's better. It's better. Much more force, intangible force for the beings. Because the merits will be much longer affecting them. It's invisible, but it exists. They are walking around, so many of them, especially at night. All these spirits are there, everywhere on the road. Some of them are afraid of light. They are hiding during the day, somewhere in the dark. When nighttime, they come out, parading everywhere. There are so many realms all over. However, within mind itself, giving them the essence of cutting deluded knowing, leading your mind, sharing merits, and use the reminders. They will often follow in such a way accordingly. Don't circle around just giving or not giving. That is not able to end, because merits can end also. It has temporary period of time. Just give the essence of the enlightenment, cutting within the cutting itself, mind from mind itself. Use the reminder to guide the way in helping through cutting. They will follow accordingly, automatically.